Good morning world, and welcome to another episode of Surf Safari. I thought I would be adding this one to yesterday's episode, but it turns out I have got enough footage. So Monique's luck worked with getting a cheetah out, or two cheetahs out yesterday afternoon. You could hear lions roaring while we were with the cheetah in that same area. So I think this morning what we're going to do is we are going to be heading back towards where we left the cheetah resting last night on Giraffe Plains, and see if we can have some joy with either them or those lions. So stick around for this next installment of Tantatula's Surf Safari. Enjoy. Beautiful full moon setting. Swainton spur fell on the mound, and a whole bunch of impalas that have spent the night here on the crest of the hill. The sun rising on the other side. We're now 13 minutes past 5. We're getting earlier and earlier. Gone are the days of nice 6:30 sunrises like we had in the middle of winter. Just checked Giraffe Plains, this area behind me, where they were left last night. It was a pretty bright moon. There may have been a chance they would have walked around, especially with the lions roaring so close to them. But yeah, these boys are showing that they really enjoy these sodic sites. We have these open patches scattered along the Mashatan. Again, it's far from ideal cheetah habitat, but it's not the worst. They can definitely make ends meet, and these sodic sites provide good places to rest up on because visibility is so good. And if any prey comes, they can use their speed on them. So we're going to just go check one called Cheetah Plains and see if there are cheetahs there. Just turned off to listen at Mashatan Dam and had audio for those lions. Not finding any sign of those cheetahs just yet, but the lions are fast. Let's just go check everything. Some very distant elephants there, that little grey blob. He's not moving, looks like a rock. But we'll come back here. Let's try to get these lions first. So nothing on those lions yet. No, here somewhere. Just going to check Tortillas Plains. That is where they tend to be more often than not, is out in the open sodic sites. Even though the sun is going to be warm today, it's still quite fresh at the moment. And there are tracks for them heading straight here. So be ready for lions. As expected. So, one of our Nharhu males, not the guy who's mating, not our limping boy, but the third one, doesn't really get a name or title, but clearly looking for the rest of his pride, and not quite sure where they've been, but I always feel better when the males can't even find them. Makes me think that it's not just my bad luck or inability, lack of skills. I'm lying as I've come round. I can see it's actually the cut-nose male, and I think it's more a case he just has not rejoined his pride after his honeymoon. He's even lost his old lady. It is great to have guests back. So yeah, really good having guests back to enjoy and experience these moments. It does mean though, because I haven't got guests, I do have to give them priority. So Ginger's on his way here with some guests of Lars and his group are enjoying this. So we're gonna see if he roars and then leave. that was all we wanted. So yeah, we're going to make space for Ginge, let his guys come and enjoy this, and go back to those ellies, and then resume our search for Cheetah. But that was very cool. So eventually managed to relocate this elephant herd. Seems to be quite a small group, maybe half a dozen individuals. But it's so difficult now to gauge these things, and even finding them wasn't the easiest. The bush has just thickened up so much. And you know, we've always said that this is sometimes one of the challenges of summer. However, just to drive around an environment that looks this lush, this green, this full of life is the real pleasure. And I've probably said it before, bears repeating, but this is definitely my favorite time of the year. Cool. A little bit of moisture weeping from her temporal gland there. Once again, proof that it's not just bulls and muss that have those secretions, but actually common through out the ranks of elephant society. Very often related to maybe excitement, possibly stress. That male lion, for instance, may have come walking through, and although he's no risk to a big female like this, and there's not actually many small babies, they still don't like seeing these predators. So perhaps in trumpeting and chasing him, it caused the release of these temporal gland secretions. Munching on a knobthorn for breakfast. Wonderfully prickly. Another cow weeping, so yeah, there's definitely some excitement or something that's happened here. Okay, so that's been a good start to the morning. We're like 45 minutes in, and some lion and ellie, and no cheetah. That is our mission again, so I think we're going to leave these pachyderms be and go scratch around a little bit more for some shinkankanka, as they would say in Xitsonga, cheetahs. As I was leaving those ellies, our lion roared again. So the guards have left him unattended. So I think I'm actually going to pop back in to see him, see if he gives us one more roaring display, and then carry on searching for cheetah. And I still can't believe that I can say, hey, let's go look for cheetah, and actually genuinely think we might find cheetah. It's been a long time since that's happened. I mean, yesterday was a case in point. I was confident in the morning, lost the confidence after the drive when I saw nothing. And then in the afternoon, a bit of good fortune, and they showed up, and they were much deeper into our territory than I thought they would be. So they seem to have this loop, this route that they take from the south to the north, and long may they keep using it. So back with this boy, still firmly placed in the shade of that tree, although that's not going to last long. But Ginger has found tracks for the rest of the river pride. Well, the rest. 2 females, 1 cub, 1 male, coming in this area, coming to this, basically we call this area Tortillas Plains. He's on the southern side, we're sitting on the northern side, so maybe they're not far. Maybe they will hear his roars and make their way here, but they definitely haven't responded with their own vocalizations, that's for sure. Flies. Ginger's tracks for the pride crossed out of our concession. The shadow has crossed out of the lion's sleeping spot, so we're going to just give him a few minutes to get hot, and after he moves we'll carry on, because it is warming up. So the lion has won this battle. His shade is long gone, but he isn't moving. my shade has never been here, but I am moving. We're going to carry on, see what else we can find. Hello, Billy. So yeah, that is the call and the bird called a monotonous lark. Just this long, repetitive. The call itself is not monotonous, actually quite melodious, but just the monotony of it constantly calling. And yeah, they're birds that we only really notice when they call. I don't know if they get overlooked during the non-calling times, non-breeding times. You know, even the bird apps talk about there being very few records of them during the winter month, which has led to speculation of them being intra-African migrants, but there's no records of them outside of their breeding range. So they kind of follow the grasses, although they're mostly insect eating. It seems to be the open grassland. When it rains, they arrive there. There are some years where they are abundant. At the moment, they're quite localized around this area. I haven't heard them calling elsewhere, but it's a call that accompanies us through most of summer, the monotonous lark. No joy with our cheetahs yet. Not even a track. I'm actually going to go back to where we had them last night. So I'm saying last night, yesterday evening, and just see where they pointed. Maybe give us a place to look a little later today, but having checked the open areas around here, no obvious sign of them resting up. Back to Giraffe Plains, just a herd of impalas. This is that herd that has that female with horns, which you may remember from a previous solo safari episode. And yeah, Murphy's Law. Picked up my binoculars to check if she was around, and first impala looked at had the horns. It was too far away to film. So here is our cheetah track. Got the 3 lobes at the back, small pad, and the toes in the front. Let's see if we can find a clearer one where you can see the claws. But it does mean that they did move north. That's where we've been checking this morning without any joy. So it's another afternoon, and as Monique has just said, it is quite humid. Clouds have come over, the heat from this morning is gone, and Monique has joined. So she got us Cheetah yesterday. It's just her presence allowed those cheetahs to show. Let's see what this afternoon brings. Ocean of green out there. Again, it's said it before, and I'll keep on saying it until it turns winter again, but you really have to go and compare these scenes with some videos taken a month or 2 ago, and just how it has changed in such a short space of time. Little grey duck appearing out from behind the log. Its departure is imminent, I'm sure. Far less hastily than we normally have. Yeah, difficult to film because they normally just dash off as soon as we see them. Getting ready for the mozzies. What were you saying, my love?
So there's so many purple cluster leaves flowering at the moment.
All
over this side and that side.
And you're lucky you're not here because they stank.
They do smell quite
Smells.
bad.
My last guest was saying that all these trees smell like sweaty socks. But yeah, they're in flower now. Typically flies that pollinate them. A few buzzing around here, but yeah, their odor attracts the flies. Not amazingly pleasant. So Momo,
Yes.
why are we waiting here?
So we're waiting because somebody found a cheetah. Or 2. Who knows? But we're going to find out soon.
I think it's probably 2.
Yeah, I think so.
But we're going to find out soon.
Yes.
Okay,
But
cool.
yeah, very excited.
That would make it 2 out of 2 drives seeing cheetah with you.
Yeah, quite nice.
That would be pretty cool.
Okay, you can cut now.
What do you know?
Can you see them?
I can. I'm filming them now. They're going to be coming out on the road. Same 2 boys from yesterday.
I see the one there.
Apparently did chase some impala, that's why you might see some panting. Not the ambient heat, although it's a little bit humid. It hasn't been too hot this afternoon. So they do look a little fuller than yesterday, so I don't know if they had a kill. And looking at the way the belly's panting on the boy on the left, definitely an indication of them having fed during the last 24 hours, since we last saw them anyway. So yeah, you can see it's quite a trend for these guys to come and rest on these open sodic sites. Mentioned it in the last episode. They do it because it allows them a good place to rest up where it's relatively safe. They're going to see any potential dangers coming from either side, and they can also scout out for potential food. We just missed them going up another log like we saw yesterday. They did try for impala, they missed it, which seems to happen relatively often for cheetahs. Although they are one of the more successful predators, they probably miss more than they catch. A coalition like this might eat once every 3 or 4 days. There was a study done in the Kruger that followed a coalition of 3 brothers for a few years, and they found that their average frequency of kill, the number of kills they made, was about 80 per year. So that's about once every 4 days, which is not a huge amount, averaged out. And the lion's calling. The cheetahs have picked up. They had this all of last night, possibly why they've moved into this area away from where those lions are. But it hasn't chased them out completely, which is interesting, because cheetahs seem to thrive where lions don't. In areas surrounding protected reserves in Serengeti and Etosha, you actually end up finding a lot more cheetahs outside the protected areas than within them, because of the absence of hyenas and lions. And you know, like the central Kruger, which is much more open, a lot of prey, a lot of impala around, their favorite food. Still relatively low densities of cheetah because of the high number of lions. So we're very, very lucky to have these 2 boys with us now, and seemingly looks like this is not just passing through. They may be here for fingers crossed, a while. I won't tell you how long a while is, but time will tell. It's the hard knock life.
Station is going to be closing shortly on Giraffe Plain, very close to the mud wallow there for eating.
That is not a bad way to end an evening, but sun is setting, and as diurnal animals we won't leave them after dark. But just want to say thanks to my lucky lady for 2 cheetahs in 2 afternoons.
Yes, it was lovely.
And what we're going to see on the way home.
We'll have to see. It's a surprise.
You don't know.
I know.
Oh, do you?
I think we're going to see a lion. Maybe more than one
Maybe
lion.
more than one.
It would be great if they're roaring as well, but...
She's laughing because I told her that roar at 6:15 and they roared at 18 minutes to 6. But let's go find those ones that are calling.
Exactly.
Quite a stunning sky. And stunning tracker. And oh, what's in front of us?
That is the question.
What
Something
might
that's
those
sleeping.
things be? Lions sleeping? Never. Never. Indeed, sleeping lions. It looks like it's the old girl from River Pride and a suitor. I'll tell you now who it is. So it looks like it is the handsome male, the one that doesn't limp and that hasn't got a cut nose, although he's got a nice new scar, fresh wound on his nose now, possibly fighting over this girl, but she can't be in East. She must be starving. I mean, all the mating last week, don't believe she's rejoined with the pride. The rest of the pride, or 2 females in the cub, have joined up with the male from this morning, not too far, like less than a kilometre here, so I'm sure they will reunite at some point during the evening. Yeah, so a couple of fresh new wounds on that face. Actually, I haven't seen this guy for a while, so don't know where he's been scrapping, but almost looks like a fang mark. So you can hear the roars of the other ones, but annoyingly these ones aren't responding. So she's looking her age and looking skinny. Not in terrible condition, just what happens if you don't eat for, or don't have anything substantial for several days. Also at her age, probably a bit more difficult actually keeping weight on. Whatever the muscle mass they add to their body probably gets used a lot more quickly in the old age. Actually, I'll take it back, she's not that skinny. It's better than I thought she would. I see white knuckles on the tracker seat. Now your impalas are alarm calling. Maybe I'll move as soon as he sits down. Is that the Terminalia prenoides I can smell, or something else?
It's very possible. I'm much more comfortable now. That was a little bit too close for comfort for my sake.
That was close, but again, the fact that they walked up to you and decided to flop down there Shows they're comfortable. They wouldn't have done that if they didn't feel comfortable, but you were still very close. So
They were looking into my soul, into my eyes and my soul.
but you survived. Well done. The way that he got up and followed her suggests that she may still be in estrus. I don't quite know how that's possible, that you could come into estrus 3 times in 3 weeks. But yeah, he's definitely interested. Didn't push through. She flopped down before he could do anything. But yeah, I think we're probably going to be leaving these guys to it and calling it a day. It's been another very good day. Double drive, but great line in the morning. Sorry, I stopped because the lion started roaring. These guys just don't want to answer. But yeah, a proper good day in the east. Good lions, another fantastic sighting. Those cheetah, the ellies. It was just a wonderful day. So thank you for joining, and we will catch you again very soon on the next episode of Tandatula's Surf Safari. Till then, thanks very much from Monique and myself. Goodbye.
And I didn't die today, so that's very good.
It's a victory for us all.
Yes. Yeah, hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye.
And this is what we do when we wait for sightings. I can't zoom in. Wow. Look how many of me there are. It's bad enough there's just one. And this is the PG section of the film. That is a odd looking appendage. And I'll just leave it at that. Look at it, it's... What is it?